Doors with all the books. I'm here for Tag Tuesday. Today's tag is the cocktail tag created by the lovely Lindsay from Wandering Reader. She tagged me earlier in the year when this tag was perhaps more appropriate, but not really. People like to celebrate this time of year. We have New Year's coming up, which is a big holiday here in the States for, you know, toasting. So this works. I'll get you prepared for that. So I've got my little cocktail menu here, and let's just dive right in. The first one is Sex on the Beach, and that is a steamy book. So for that, I have The Vegetarian by Hong Kong. This perhaps is not the steamy that she had in mind. It's an uncomfortable steamy. This book is sure to make you blush or at least cringe uncomfortably, unless perhaps you're Adam. So, you know, there you go. The next one is A Bloody Mary, a book with a killer twist. For that one, I'm going with I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. This is a true crime / memoir. What a winning combination. Michelle McNamara wrote her obsessive hunt for this guy and the research about finding him, and he was actually found. Unfortunately, it was after Michelle died. She died while writing this book, so very poignant, but yeah, great read. And the next one is A Pina Colada, a book set in a tropical locale. For that one, I'm going with Next Year in Havana by Chanel Clayton. This is a historical fiction / romance. Bree Hill got me onto this. It was a Reese's book club pick this summer, and I really enjoyed it. It's just a light romance, but also has a lot of the history of Cuba during the Castro years, and when he came into, this one's when he came into power. So very fascinating, and I didn't know much at all about that time period, so I really enjoyed reading this and looking forward to the next one in this series, which is due out in April. Okay, next up we have A Cosmopolitan, which is a sophisticated character. For that one, I'm going with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Evelyn Hugo is very, very sophisticated. She's a Hollywood actress, well respected in her craft, and quite the gossip mill with her 7 husbands, and amazing twists in this one. It really connected with me emotionally a couple times too. Great read. And then we have A Manhattan, a book that left a bad taste in your mouth. So we're going to great reads to For that one, I have Bastard Out of Carolina by Dorothy Allison. This book made me so mad. I was so disappointed because this is Southern lit, literary fiction, a young female protagonist coming of age. I was so had my hopes up that this was going to be just perfection for me, and I hated it. And I read it all the way to the bitter end because I thought it might be one of those books with an outstanding payout at the end, and it just didn't work for me. I hated the adults in her life and the poor choices they made, and it just, no. Strawberry Daiquiri, a book that lets you just chill. Now we're back to great. Dumplin', Go Big or Go Home by Julie Murphy. Do you hear my southern accent coming out? This book is set in Texas. It's about a beauty queen mother that relives her glory days by running the same pageant that she won back in high school, and it's centered around her daughter, who does not conform to the typical beauty pageant standards, and it's all about, I mean, there's a little romance, but it's all about friendship and finding yourself and those familial relationships. And oh, it's just a lovely book. And the movie is equally lovely. So there you go. Great read to feel good. The next one is Espresso Martini, a book you read late into the night. So, yeah, I don't read late into the night anymore. The little cat, she wakes me up at the butt crack of dawn every day. She thinks that's her responsibility. And I have always required 8 hours of sleep. If I don't get 8 hours of whatever, yeah, crabby city. So 9:30 is about all I can manage. Sometimes on the weekend, 10:30. If I've got a friend over, maybe midnight. But anyway, I don't really remember specifically a book that I stayed up late reading, but a fantasy fiction, plot-driven page-turner kind of books are the best bet for that. So I'm going to have The City of Brass here by S.A. Chakraborty. This is a fantasy fiction with a bit of a historical bent, set in like the Egypt in that area, and genies, but not the genie in a bottle that you're used to seeing. I really enjoyed this and looking forward. I think the sequel to this one's coming out in January. So, yay. This is YA. If I didn't mention that. Dumpling is as well. Okay, and then the next one is Cuba Libre, a favorite modern classic. Of course, it has to be John Steinbeck. You know, anytime you get asked that question, who are 3 people that you would ask to dinner, John's always on the list. He's a fabulous, fabulous writer. So I grabbed East of Eden because this is my most recent Steinbeck read, and it is brilliant. And this one is the one that John Steinbeck himself considered his greatest work. Highly recommend. So, so good. Okay, and the last one is to come up with your own drink and a prompt to go with it. I'm going with Coke. I know I should say rum and Coke because this is an adult beverage menu, but we need to have a virgin drink here. So also, I don't like my Coke contaminated. I'm not implying that alcohol contaminates Coke. I just don't like anything else in my Coke. I want it the way it was meant to be. I don't want cherry Coke. I don't want rum and Coke. I don't want Diet Coke. I want the real thing, baby. So I could go with that for my prompt, but I'm going to go with the other one, A Coke and a Smile. So a book that makes you smile. A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. Oh my gosh. This is the most heartwarming book I have ever read. Oh, it made me so all the feels. Curmudgeonly, crabby old man, super sweet, invasive neighbors with little children, a kitty. Oh, this was just precious, precious book. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, that's the cocktail tag. So good. Thanks for tagging me, Lindsay. And I am going to tag the first 5 people that were on my my subscription feed. So I guess the most recent 5 people I've watched videos of or something to that effect. They popped up on my feed that way. Anyway, so I'm tagging Rmfickfack, My Reading Days, Shawn, my handwriting, guys, I gotta be a doctor. Shawn, the Book Maniac, Jenni King, and Mel's Bookland Adventures. So I will try to tag them on Twitter so they know about this. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye!